Good morning. Wait for this to spool up. Hi y'all, this is Stacy and we are Loving My Veteran, and today we're doing Walking in My Shoes like we do every day, Monday through Friday. Want to say good morning to everybody as we all pop on here this morning. Have another sip or two of coffee. It has been an exhausting 24 hours, but it has been a wonderful 24 hours. So I'm just going to kind of give everybody a little update on what's going on before we get into our topic today, which is roller coaster ride. Our lives tend to be a roller coaster ride, and just how do we hang on when we're doing the dips and the curves and the turns, and how do we manage that? Um, First of all, for everybody who has shared their story on with the VA issues and stuff that's been going on, thank you, thank you, thank you. Please keep them coming. It is critically important. We worked very hard, a whole team of us yesterday, in getting the message out. And I sent two very important emails. I was asked to send them. One was to the Secretary of the Department of Veteran Affairs at the Cabinet, Mr. Robert Wilkie, and the Deputy Secretary, Pamela Powers. I have received emails back from both of them that they are looking into this. It has been forwarded to the leadership team of the VA, and they will be contacting us to share their stories further and to try to get some resolve when we go forward. So that is the super exciting news for this morning. I cannot tell you enough how much I want to thank you for all the stuff that you've done, and moving forward as a caregiver. We're really trying to come up with a way to make all of our lives better for our veterans, for us. You know, we do enough. Having to fight the VA is just insane at times. So let me turn my ringer off, because you know my phone's going to be binging all morning. Morning, Sunny. So today we're going to talk about that our lives tend to be this roller coaster ride. You know, how do you hang on? How do you, you know, I as a kid, I loved roller coaster rides. I still probably do. Although I'm sure Carl will never let me get on another one. But our lives tend to be this roller coaster, you know, and I can remember when I would take my nephew and my nieces and on roller coasters, and they were kind of, morning Dale, they were kind of a little flipped out at times about what roller coaster we're on. And I'm like, you know, look, it's simple. If it only has a lap thing, we're not going to go upside down. If you pull the shoulder thing over, we might go upside down. So our lives tend to be this roller coaster that we're on. And navigating this with our veterans, and even what they go through, is also a roller coaster ride. You know, we have these men and women who signed up. We have an all-volunteer military. We are one of the only countries in the world that does an all-volunteer military. So our veterans signed up for this. They checked the box that said, yes, I want to serve, right? And so when we navigate through the daily issues with them, and we all have our daily issues, we have relationship issues, and we have daily issues with them. You know, we go through this with them, and we watch, and we sit back, and we hear so much, and we do so much. So we have these challenges, right? And one of the challenges that we have, that, thank God, praise God, again, I cannot say enough about this, is the VA issues. You know, we try to get our veterans the care they need, and so we're struggling. It is struggling trying to get appointments. It is struggling trying to get help. You know, we sometimes give our veterans this thing, look, you need to go get counseling. Well, great, we're going to go get counseling, but it could take 4 weeks, or it could take 6 weeks. And so we're watching that struggle, and we get very frustrated with our veteran, who at this point is needing counseling and needing help, and just not getting it. So, you know, we get to the peak of this, we've been on this rough ride, and we get to the peak, and we're sitting up there in that moment of anticipation that we're finally going to take that drop and get that help and move forward, and then we just stop because they're not getting it. Or you see this big drop, and you're anticipating this drop in this roller coaster ride, and you just go down a little bit and then you're back up again and you're like, what the heck? What the heck? We're trying to navigate through that. So we watch that go on, and that becomes a struggle for us. We also tend to watch these men and women who served our country and were so independent, and they've done so much, and they have these abilities, and it becomes a struggle that they can't do at times some of the simplest tasks. They get panicked going to the grocery store. They get panicked trying to do the things that are on their list. They forget they need to do things. And these are these men and women who signed up and defended our country and did things that we could never dream of or never do or never be part of. And the simple things, the little things, they can't do. And it makes you very frustrated. It also makes them very frustrated. And for me, I get very frustrated at times with Carl, because I'm like, for God's sakes, you jumped out of airplanes, you did this, you did that, you did all these things, but I can't get you to cut the grass at times, and you're like very frustrated. And then I just got a message, I just read a post in another group that was talking about this is her morning and how it was hard for her, because now she has to lay out his clothes, and she has to remind him to get up if he doesn't set the alarm, and she's got to remind him to do some paperwork, and she's got to shuffle him off to go to work, and she has to fix him a quick breakfast. And this is a person that was super independent that she's watching go through this. And so for us, we get frustrated and we get angry, and we get all this stuff built up inside of us, right? And we're like, what the heck? Because it's this roller coaster ride that we go on every single day with highs and lows, and then we watch them not be able to do things. I watch Carl get so worked up over something so, it seems to me, trivial at times. And his mind is in a place and he can't get out of it. And so I'm sitting here and I'm like, what the heck? And instead now of directing my anger to him, I get very angry. I find myself getting angry at the system. I find myself getting angry because they did this to him. I find myself getting super frustrated over that because they did this to him. And then I find myself getting angry at the very country I love, and I have to stop this anger and stop getting in this roller coaster ride. And stop with the emotions and the jerks and the turns. We're gonna have them. Just how do you navigate? I think we've all been to the amusement parks, and you look up at the bottom of this roller coaster, right? And I'm good as long as my feet don't dangle, okay? I'm just going to tell you now, as long as my feet don't dangle, I can ride anything. I have to have my feet firmly planted on something. If they're dangling, I'm done. I'm not going to ride it. But I can remember standing there and looking up at these roller coasters, and I was a roller coaster junkie, and they flip upside down and they do all this thing in this anticipation, and it was great. And you kind of watched it, and so you knew there was going to be a turn here and there was going to be a turn there. But when you get on it, it's totally different. And that's what happens in our life. We get on this ride. We think we understand PTSD, and we get on this ride with them. And then all of a sudden this turn and this jerk that is not what we anticipated is there. So how do you get through it? You get through it one step at a time. You get through it because you count the little victories. You get through it by letting go. You get through of it by taking your anger and turning it into a mission. You get through it by making one step at a time. You can't deal with all of it at one time. You can't deal with the overwhelmingness of it at one time. There are some days that the roller coaster ride is simply the lap belt, and there are some days that it's the shoulder belt. I think of my absolute very favorite roller coaster, which happens to be Aerosmith at Disney. Favorite roller coaster. And you were literally go from like 0 to 60 in seconds, okay? And I remember going years ago. My dad was there when he was still alive, so this has been, well over 15 years ago. And it is the same technology now that they're using to shoot airplanes off of aircraft carriers. And I just think about that being shot at. And there are mornings that I wake up, and there are mornings that I deal with things with my veteran and with my our job here, and you just feel like you've been shot out of this roller coaster going 0 to 60 in nothing, right? And the flips and the turns, and at the end of the day, you have to get off of the roller coaster, and sometimes you're tired. But when you look back on it, you need to go back to that exhilaration. The fact that, you survived that upside down, that flip in the dark, the noise, the this. And there are good moments and there are bad moments. And we get those moments coming in on this roller coaster ride. How do you navigate the turns? How do we go forward? And know there are days that we plan things with our veteran, and they fall through. I mean, they do it all the time. Okay, let me just tell you, it happens all the time. But y'all know that. I'm not telling you something new. Y'all know that we make plans and they fall through at times. But when you look at the whole plan, at the whole picture that we have there, what little things did we accomplish? See, our life isn't made up of days and weeks and months and years. Our life is made up of moments, very little moments. And Michelle can tell you that yesterday when we started the push of getting the story out and the letters to Congress out and the frustrations that we went through in trying to get our veteran stories and our caregiver stories out to the people that mattered. By about, 5 o'clock last night, 4:30 last night, I was very frustrated. And I'm like, Michelle, it irritates me that nobody cares about over 200 stories coming from veterans and spouses and caregivers about the struggles. There's 200 of them. I feel like nobody cares about our veterans. And Michelle, who was my cheerleader through that yesterday and last night, said to me, Stacy, it was Monday. They have to go through these emails. They have to look at all the stuff going on. And then we started rationalizing. Look at the news cycle. The first set of COVID vaccines went out yesterday. It was the day the Electoral College went out yesterday. So all that was kind of in the news. And by 5 o'clock yesterday, I get an email, a message from Pamela Powers, who is the Deputy Secretary of the VA, the Deputy Secretary of the VA, cabinet level, and she sends me a message and she says, email me these stories. Good morning, love. Email me these stories. Email me them. I sent her the email and she says, it's going to the leadership first thing in the morning and we're going to resolve this. I get up first thing this morning, go get a shower first thing. Don't ask me why, because I never do that. Get a shower, and what happens? I go check my email, and there is an email from Robert Wilkie, who is the Secretary of Veteran Affairs, who said, we will be in contact with you today. We're going to resolve this. So while I'm thinking that my entire day was wasted, there were 2 moments in that day that made what I did matter. And that's how we have to look at life as we navigate our life with our veterans. The whole day may seem like a mountain. Like you're sitting in that roller coaster riding that little changeover part that goes up and goes up and goes up and goes up and goes up. And then you have the moments that are the exhilarating and that are the little victories. And it's those moments. Again, I said this yesterday. I encourage y'all. I am doing this today. I got my index card sitting here. I am taking the wall in front of me, which y'all can't see, obviously, because the camera's this way. The wall in front of me at my desk, and I don't care how covered it gets. It is my victory wall. Every victory that I have, every little victory that I accomplish, I'm putting it on the wall. You need to be happy about your victories. Yes, watching our veterans go from where they were to not being able to fill out a form is tough. From watching our veterans go from the fact that they defended our country and they were on their game all the time, and they could do that, and my God, they can remember everything, to not remembering little things like, I don't know, we have veterans who their spouses complain they don't remember to brush their teeth in the morning. You know, they don't remember that. They don't remember that moment that they gotta wash their teeth, to brush their teeth in the morning. They don't remember that they need to take a shower. They don't remember that they got a deadline for a thing. They don't remember that they've got an appointment. But when you look at the victory, and they don't remember that they have a counseling appointment with their therapist, the victory is they have an appointment with their therapist and they're going to talk to somebody. That's the victory. Put your victory wall up. Put your victories there. They may not follow through on every plan you had. They may not follow through on every single plan you had, right? But if they did one thing on the list, that's your victory. That prepares you for the roller coaster ride. Our life is full of roller coaster rides. We are so good at what we're doing. We are so into what we do as spouses and caregivers. Y'all, there are days we feel like we are at the bottom. Our crying moments, I have them like everybody else. I can sit here and sound excited and sound motivated, but that only comes because I'm having coffee and it's first thing in the morning and my morning hasn't gotten to that day, and I can reflect on the morning. I get up every morning and I reflect on the victories of the day before. Every morning, and reflect on the victories of the day before, because we have them. And that has to be where our focus goes. Because if you sit there and you wallow in that negative just keeps going. And we as caregivers get exhausted. We as caregivers get frustrated. And you know, your victory may not always be with your veteran. Your victory may be going out and spending an hour by yourself. Your victory may be going shopping with your daughter and your granddaughter. That may be your victory. Your victory may be the moment that you take all the junk that's in your head and push it to the side and do something for you. That is your victory for that day. That becomes our victory for that day. That's where we are. Our resources. I'm watching the messages come in, and how the fact that we've all of a sudden been connected with people we weren't connected with yesterday. Those are our victories. Coming together as a community becomes our victories. Y'all, being able to uplift each other, that becomes your victory. Spending the 10 minutes by yourself becomes your victory. That's where we are. That's where we are. And our life is full of them. And that roller coaster ride we're on, we just got to remember that the car we're on that roller coaster is firmly attached to the track. The only time it becomes detrimental is when the track breaks. I remember the movie, and I'm telling you, this is going to tell my age, and those of y'all who've never seen it probably just need to go Google it because it's a lot of fun. There's a movie called Rollercoaster, and it was about, the old wooden roller coasters way back in the day, and probably most of y'all have never seen a wooden roller coaster, but okay. So there was an old wooden roller coaster, and obviously the train breaks and the cars go everywhere. And that was at an amusement park that I used to go to all the time down the beach in Virginia Beach. And it was they were tearing the roller coaster down, and they were going to destroy it anyway. And so they used it in a movie. But as long as your car stays on the track, it's a victory. The track may be bumpy. The track may be full of twists and turns. You may go upside down at times. You may find yourself in a corkscrew at times, but it's still your victories. That's what it's about. Finding those moments, reining it all in, having those victories even on the roller coaster ride from hell. That's what it's about. I share the roller coaster story and the analogy so well because it was truly a roller coaster that led me to where I am today.
You almost died on one.
It is the roller coaster that led me to where I am today. It was in January. It was actually the 3rd of January. We went to Disney, and so the 4th we got on Space Mountain. Carl remembers Space Mountain when he took his kids, and it was important. And we went and we rode Space Mountain. I love Space Mountain. I rode it with my daddy. I get on it, and there's literally the picture when they take the pictures in the thing where I am pale, clammy, holding my chest. I had a pulmonary embolism on a roller coaster, a pulmonary embolism which should have just, took me out of the world. But that was the catalyst that got me to not being able to work, that got me to create, not me, but us to create this. And so at the moment, it didn't seem like a victory. But today it is. That ride was the victory. And so you have to go back and look sometimes at where your victories are. You have to go back and see where are our accomplishments coming from. Do we go backwards? Do we see that our veterans, that their care is not what we want it to be? Do we see their health slip away? Do we watch them go into a darker and darker place at times? But the fact that we can communicate with them, the fact that we can hold their hand and say, let's go forward, those are the victories. Those are the moments. The 2 moments that we connect in the day. That's your moment. That's your victory. That is what it's about. It's about your roller coaster ride. You're not going to come off the track. So take the victories. Take those moments. There are a lot of little moments in your day that create your victories. There are so many little moments in the day that create your victories. That's what we're going to do. That's how we get through it. Look, I'm telling you, my biggest victory in my day is the fact that there is coffee in my cup in the morning. That's my victory. I think about that a lot. So what are your victories? What are your 2 moments in the day? What are your 3 moments in the day? What are the fact that our biggest victory is that when we feel the lowest and when we feel like we just don't have it right now, and we're in that moment, whether we're in the bathroom crying, or we got the covers over our head crying, or we're so frustrated that we're just sitting there crying and having our moment, and we question ourselves, and we are like, why am I doing this? What am I doing this for? I'm tired. I'm done. I'm exhausted. And the victory is that you take the step forward and you keep going. And that little pieces of those walls come down. And the little victories happen. They may not be victories with your veteran always. They may be victories within yourself. Small victories are better than none. And every day there's a small victory. Stop looking at the whole day. Hey, baby. Mm-hmm. Do you love me enough to put more coffee in my cup? Thank you. That's my victory. That man takes care of me all the time. That's my victory. And you're right, Susan, small victories are better than none at all. And when you take, literally, I'm telling y'all, you think I'm kidding, make a victory wall. Make a list, make a victory wall, put pictures on your screensaver, whatever. But start taking track and count of your victories. And then you're going to find your life is full of them. Your life is full of blessings. Your life is full of victories. I think about, and it just happened last night, a very dear friend of the family, very, very dear friend. Her and her husband both got sick with COVID. And so she was in the ICU and she had some heart conditions that kind of put her there, right? Ahead of that. And her husband was told, you can self-treat at home. Well, while she was in the hospital, her husband got worse.
Pneumonia.
Susan said good morning. She's standing right.
Hey,
So she got.
I'm doing laundry.
He's doing laundry. Victory. He got worse, and their daughter found him on the floor. So he ends up in the hospital, and she's out now, and she's better, and he's in the ICU, and he is very sick and gets transferred. And the doctor called her the other day and said, I don't think it's going to come out of this. Well, now remember, we're in COVID land. You can't see visitors. And they allowed her yesterday to go in and spend 4 hours with her husband. And he passed away last night. But rather than her concentrating on the fact that he passed away and that devastation, for her, that victory was the 4 hours she got to spend with him. So even in amongst sadness and tragedy and pain and all the things we go through, there are small victories. And we have them. That makes the roller coaster ride easier. Those victories, those moments, help us navigate.
I'm going to go out with
those
the victory with
times.
the damn chicken that's escaped.
The chicken escaped again?
Yeah, that's my victory.
Houdini escapes. We have a chicken in Houdini. But those are our victories. Those are our moments. That's where we are. And I just need y'all to know that that's what's important. Is our victories, not anybody else's, yours. What are your victories? My victory is being able to get up every morning and spend 10 minutes, even if it's just 10 minutes, having some time for me and doing my devotion without any interruption. That's my victory. Like when I was a parent, my kids were little, my victory was being able to go pee without my kids in the bathroom. Now my victory is being able to go pee without the dogs in the bathroom. But those are victories. And you just write them down as such. And you take all of those moments and create what makes your moments happy. And that's where you start concentrating on. Because then it doesn't put you in that deep place that we all tend to go in. We have that uncanny ability to bring ourselves down and say, I can't do this. I have this and this and this above me, and it's all stacked on me. But when you realize where you're going, and even though there's still all this stuff on you, the little things create your victories. And more importantly, we as a community are here to help uplift you. We as a community are here to share your stories, to celebrate your victories, to love you through your defeats. That's what we do as a community. That's what we're here for. So good morning, Marianne. I just needed y'all to see that our victories are phenomenal. And that makes you phenomenal and makes you stronger than you've ever thought about being. And I'm telling you, for us as a community, our victory came in the form of 2 emails that said, We're gonna share your stories. Your veterans' voices are gonna be heard. We're just a little group of people who wanted to prove and find support because we were having a hard time understanding PTSD. And then it just grew and grew and grew to a level that to be honest, I can't keep up with by myself anymore. So I'm putting this out here at 10 o'clock this morning. We are having a Zoom meeting. I can send you the link. If you have time, want to see where we're going as a group, want to help in spreading our message and getting it out there, there is a Zoom meeting this morning in a half an hour that we want everybody who we encourage people to be on so we can grow. So we can continue to have these victories. So if you can want to be part of the growth and where we're going, please send us a message. I will send you the link. We need to grow. And more importantly, we really need the plan to get our voices heard because we have the audience today. We have the audience today. And while we all know, Dale, I will tag you, absolutely. Yeah, got him a puppy so he can get out and walk the dog. Those are your victories. Those are your victories. That's where we are. I got to write this down, but who wants to be shared in this stuff? So let me do this. Girl, there are days that I just want him to do it. Judy, I'll private message all that link to the thing. Hold on, who needs to go in this? Sorry, I'm like doing 3 things at one time. So Sharon, you want the link. Actually, let me just do this. Why don't I just, I was going to say I'll just post it, but I'm not sure I want to do that. Sharon, Dale wants that link. I'll tag you. Girl, I'm telling you, mine has the dogs of all dogs, and we love them more than ever. So, sorry, y'all, I'm kind of a little distracted. You have to realize that this has been a day. Enjoy our victories. Find the little things that matter. Pam, you want that link too? Is that you? That me too for Pamela? Yeah. We are just the victories. Yay, Susan, I'm so excited for you. That's her victory. Susan's victory is on the phone. I'm so proud. I'm so excited for the victories. You know, and Susan, that is just leading me to where we're going. I've got all these notes everywhere, like the thing. I think we're going to actually put a victory wall up on the group page so we can share our victories, because the victories are what matters. So there's a lot going on. I cannot even begin to tell you where we are. I'm going to send everybody that link real quick that asked for it. It is really important that we get on this call and start talking about where we're going. We have the audience. Having the audience just makes me super excited. So I will put that out there. We really, really do. You can, Marianne, go online and register them as a service dog in training, and they will honor that. We have that too with ours. So, and I may bring somebody on next month. Next month, just a heads up, we're going to talk about us, me, self-help, depression. Girl, I'm so excited about the little things. Self-help, depression, how to get out of the winter blues, especially when there's no leaves on the tree. See, in South Georgia, we don't have fall. We just wake up one day and everything be naked. Um, yeah, it is part of our healing. It is a huge part of our healing. It is that we can help others. Helping others really helps us. Um, Susan, message me and I will get Carl to reach out to him because there is not a problem with that. That's what we're here for. We're a community. Um, God love you if you're talking to Carl, but he is amazing and I give him a hard time, but he is truly amazing. And like I said, allows this to come into our lives every day. All right, so now we're 25 minutes. Let me get these links out. I'm going to have another cup of coffee, get my notes together for where we're going in the thing. I love y'all, people. This has been Walking in My Shoes. I'm Stacy, and we're loving our veteran. I will see y'all tomorrow, and I'll put the. Actually, I'm going to make it simple. I'm just going to post it to the page. I'm going to post the Zoom link to the page. If you want in, I'll put it on there real quick. That way we don't have any issues. And Dale, I will tag you in that as well, and everybody else. So if you want in, I'm just going to pop the Zoom link on the page. That way we don't miss anybody. Y'all have a blessed day, and a lot of you I'll see you in 25 minutes. Bye.